Welcome in, Barbell fans. It's time for another post-game show, this time for Chapter 1166. In case this is your first time here, how this works is that I like to go through the comment section and just see what everybody's saying in regards to this latest chapter. Theories, memes, opinions, we're here for all of it. So let's get right into the mix with the top comment from 1166. Transition? There we go. So, first comment says, as it turns out, the reason the Gorsei were shocked at Garling getting a promotion was due to how embarrassing he was during God Valley. Yeah, I saw this, dude. This is going to be a really tough week for Garling fans. There's not a lot of us out there, mind you. There's not a lot of us on the front lines. But let me tell you, what do you even say to this? I mean, it's true. Garling did not perform spectacularly. And what's funny, by the way, is that, going back to like when Oda was promoting God Valley, when he was hyping it up, Garling was a prominent player. Brother, we got the Roger Pirates jumping out, the Garp Fleet, the Rocks Pirates, the God Knights were right there with Garling. Oda, the way he built these guys up, you would have thought that they were going to do some crazy movement here on this island. But nothing. Maffy, no diffed by Whitebeard. Dude, Whitebeard didn't even know Maffy was there. She got destroyed. Sommers, does Rayleigh even know who Sommers was? Open the door, Shaggy was getting attacked, boom, I'm out of there. For all Rayleigh knows, he beat a random Marine. I'm not even joking. That sounds like slander, which I mean, hey, if me, the God Knight fan, is saying this, it has to be true, right? But genuinely, does any faction at God Valley know who the God Knights are? You could have fooled me. Does Rox even know who these guys are? I mean, it's a genuine question. So yeah, I think overall, they were pretty disappointing. But because I align with them in terms of agenda, these are the boys. Hey, this was their Marine Ford, right? Hey, they were fighting up, man. I feel bad for these guys. They came here for a vacation, and boom, these nasty, nasty pirates just ruined the fun. So as far as God Knights go, I am genuinely, agenda aside, I am expecting them to do something current day or something during the King Harold flashback. Like, they're not done, right? We still gotta hang around these dudes. And then plus, gotta remember, right? God Valley was 38 years ago. There's a good chance that the God Knights who are around today during Luffy's era are not the same God Knights from 38 years ago. Unless they all have the immortality surgery or, some hints of immortality like Gunko has, then, we could be dealing with the brand new cast in general, which I think would be pretty cool. But then again, I thought some of the God Knights from back in the day looked awesome as well. Like the guy with the skull mask, the Yeti one, Maffy. Like, are they still around? I don't know, man. I don't know. And then somebody brought this up, and I thought it was a really good point. But Dragon is kind of fearful of these guys, right? Dragon said, before we make our move, we gotta wait for the God Knights to act first. But it's like, damn, these are the guys Dragon is scared of? I mean, if you don't have Conqueror's Hockey, they are a problem. But Dragon, he must have seen something else, man. Dragon, he must have ran into the God Knights at a later date, and he ran into them after they locked in. Maybe God Valley truly is the turning point for the God Knights, where they're like, okay, let's go lift some weights. Let's go start training our hockey. Let's not lose again, boys. This could be their Subodi archipelago. Garling's on the ground like, my friends, they're all losing. I can't believe this. I hope. Garling is bragging to all the baddies at the Holy Land on how he defeated Rocks. I thought that was hilarious. And it's kind of true, right? Garp has a fake title, right? He doesn't want to be the hero of the Marines because of God Valley. Garling is the opposite, man. Garling's over here, shades on, arms crossed, the baddies behind him. Dude, he's living it up with that title. Two very different sides of the coin, brother. Garp and Garling with their titles, man. This is from me. Believe it or not, I am the guy behind the SYV channel, and I dropped a comment because Rox is confirmed to have white and dark blue hair. I put dark blue, but, it could just be blue. But yes, white, dark blue hair, and then, of course, the scar that is running through his face is actually purple. I don't hate the combination. I think it's kind of solid. mainly because I've seen so many other crazy coloring. So it's like, yeah, this is the least of all evils. Because of this, though, the Buggy theories are coming out of the woodworks. Oh my God. You cannot mention rocks this weekend without somebody saying, oh, you mean Buggy's dad? I don't mind the theories. I would like it if Buggy had some kind of nice lineage. But as far as Rox goes, it would just be a little bit odd that Rox is worried about Eris and Teach and he never mentions Buggy. Like, oh, like, does he not know that Buggy's his son? Like, that's kind of where I get hung up. But overall, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm pretty on the fence on this one. I like the theory. I don't hate it. If it comes true, sure. If it doesn't, no big deal. I do, though, think that Buggy, whether he's Rox's son or not, will have something weird going on about him. And I mainly say that because of the clown nose. The clown nose is just so odd, and it's real, too. It's a real clown nose. We cannot, stop reiterating that. But he's probably going to be like some sort of special red-nosed clan or something. But as far as like the blue hair thing, people have been pulling up all the blue-haired characters we have in the series. And it's like, maybe that's a common trait from the Void Century or something. Bogard off-screen to Barbell. Yeah, there we go. The obligatory Barbell mention. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Dude, it is crazy, though. No Barbell. Not a single panel. Oda, in that double spread where we have the Roger ship sailing away, the Marines are behind him, he genuinely, easily could have put Barbell swimming in the water. Easily. Hell, Barbell could have been bringing the rain down with Fishman Karate. But nothing from Barbell. You know what? I don't even know. Am I more disappointed in the God Knights or am I more disappointed in Barbell? I genuinely can't tell you, brother. I think they're both equally disappointing. Bogard, he doesn't exist. Bogard doesn't exist. Speaking of Bogard, have you guys seen the One Piece Twitter account, the official one? They tweeted out Wapole and his live action casting, and it doesn't look bad. But the way the video plays, he dead ass looks like a Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic. I saw somebody say that and I was like, dude, they're not wrong. Why does he look like Golden Freddy up here? I don't know, man. But Wapole looks scary in that live action. Good casting. Barbell, sunk God Valley for Emu. But Oda has to hide it because he's too OP. Yeah. That's the hidden secret. The lurking legend Barbell. Speaking of the sunken God Valley, I wouldn't be shocked if we could go down there. I do wonder, like, what is at the bottom of that hole? Because if the island really does just collapse, the ruins should be still around. Like, maybe we'll go there at some point. But as it stands, it is currently really far from where the Straw Hats are at because God Valley is located in the West Blue. This has finally a Garp and Dragon interaction. Finally, yeah. And all we get is Garp saying, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Hey, it's something, though. It's something. I'll take it. Davy Jones took the island to his locker. I love that one. I love this line so much. Davy Jones's locker, Davy Clan remnants, Davy Clan's island. It's some good stuff. Like I said, I really hope we visit the island again or we learn what is at the bottom of that hole. Like, how does the One Piece world even work? Because right now, it kind of feels like Swiss cheese between God Valley, Enies Lobby, and Lelucia. It's like, bro, we're legitimately poking holes into the One Piece world, and they're not getting filled up by water. Like, it's literally just a hole. What the hell's going on with that? Dragon, so you're staying? Yeah. Dragon, I'm leaving. Yeah. Guys, I know that's not what the conversation literally was. It's just kind of funny that Garp is a man of so few words, especially in a situation like this. Dragon, too, if we're being honest. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, what do you even say to that, right? Like, so you're saying in the Marines, like, yeah, and, I'm sure Dragon kind of knows why Garp is staying, and then Dragon knows why he's leaving. Like, it's one of those things, like, with family members where you don't have to say too much, You could read each other's, inner being, their soul. His last words were a thank you. So there's a chance he dies with a smile on his face. You're not wrong. Yeah, when it comes to D-Clan members, they're known for dying with a smile on their face. There have been some instances where we haven't gotten that. Like Clover is a good one people bring up. They're like, oh, Clover wasn't smiling, but we never saw Clover die. He got shot by CP5, and then he got back up, and then we assume he died right after that. So we never saw his final moment. And then as far as Rox goes, again, when Garling stabs him, you don't see his face when he actually says thank you. Another great example would be Cobra. We didn't see him pass away either. We just saw him doing this, and then that's pretty much it. So yeah, Oda could definitely go back in and add a smile. That would be pretty cool. I'm surprised he didn't really mention too much about Eris or Teach in his final moments. I think that'd be sick as well. Like, hey, Eris, Teach, live good lives. Or maybe he just thinks they're dead. Yeah, that would suck. Damn. I remember Garp's coldest line in all of One Piece when he grabbed Kuzan's face as they were fighting on Hachinosu and he said to him, "Those who hesitate are weak." I infer that directly to King Harold. Yes, King Harold was a monster and arguably as strong as rocks before he met Ida. He never hesitated to slaughter and pillage literally every island or ship, navy, pirate, and did whatever he wanted with zero hesitation. This is what made him strong. Ida is a good person simply because of the circumstances that she fell into. She was shipwrecked onto a non-government affiliated nation, so they helped her because not all humans are bad, the same way not all giants are bad. I'm probably in a minority here, but pre-Harold, Ida didn't give the impression that he was evil. He literally did exactly what Rox did as a pirate. The only difference is that Rox knew the secrets of the world government, and that's what drove him. Had Harold had that knowledge, he would have for sure sided with Zebek, and no joke, they likely could have laid waste to Marie Joie. They could have killed all the admirals, all the god knights, and forced Emu to show their presence for the world to see. 1165 was titled Echoes. Ida meeting Harold could arguably cause just as much echoes throughout history as the God Valley incident itself. The point I'm trying to slam in is the fact that all it takes is one person, one dream, one promise, one genuine interaction with someone, and that incident itself can cause massive reverberations throughout the world. If Drag had ever found Shanks' mother, both Shanks and Shamrock could have ended up dead. If Maffy knew Garling had twins, Shanks would have ended up on Roger's ship. If Kuma didn't save Blackbeard and his mom the same way he saved the Straw Hats, this series would have ended right then and there. There are countless moments like this since chapter 1. With everything we know about the manga today, I'm going to reread the entire manga with the thought of the long-term consequences each and every action has had on the One Piece world order. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is true for pretty much any story, I would say. And once we hit that Void Century flashback, we're going to see many more reverberations. The original D, Joy Boy, Davy Jones. We're going to get more and more of these tie-ins as time goes on. And hell, even with the King Harold flashback, I don't think we're done with this. You know, you mentioned Harold here too, but it's like, dude, Harold's story isn't over yet. I'm sure he's going to have many more reverberations that we're still feeling to this very day. Even here in Elbaf, with Jarl, with Loki, with Hirunden. Hell, even with Shanks, because he meets Shanks up there. Who knows what Harold and Shanks' interaction is like? Maybe he had some influence on him even. Yeah, this is true for pretty much any character, any story. And yeah, it's always cool to like see how it all ties in together. It's like one giant ball of yarn. You know, it's all interwoven. Garp and Roger ran away after they felt Garling coming their way. My dude, let's go. This right here is the cope I like. Ruffian, welcome to the club, buddy. Here's your W. Bestowed upon you is the power of a god. Yes. My favorite one so far is that Garling had, I said this in the video, but now that we have the chapter, it's like not legitimate, but the panels kind of back it up. But when Garling stabs Rox, it's kind of like he did a single man sky split. Because we saw that the lightning, you know, split the clouds, rain came down, the island collapsed. Brother, it sounds like a joke, but you could genuinely spin it and make it sound like Garling was the cause of it. Garling caused the island to collapse. My God. Yeah, we need more cope like that, man. Hey, come to the front lines, brother. We're waiting for you. The God Valley incident just needs a 2-hour movie, 3-hour movie. Give it 3 hours. The longer the anime movie, in my opinion, the better. Like, dude, go to Demon Slayer. 2 hours and I think 40 minutes. They covered so much. Was it a little bit long? Could you notice the length? Yes. But it was also good. Give that to God Valley, please. Flesh out more things. I think that's my thing with God Valley. I wish more interactions were fleshed out. I wish we saw more of Rayleigh and Gabon before they started leaving and then they came back. More from the Roger Pirates, more from the Rocks Pirates in general. Like, dude, yeah, give us a movie, flesh everything out. I would absolutely eat it up. That sword staff from Garling sank the island. My man, my man, my man. Barbell, man marked by flames, father of the sea, stayed on the sinking island and saved Rocks, and then they stole the Fishman Island poneglyph, and now they live in a whale. Absurd theory. Love the dedication to the cause, though, let me tell you. And we will see Barbell again. There's no way we don't. So far, every Rocks pirate member that Oda has introduced has been somewhat relevant, right? I mean, hell, look at Ganzui. Bomb fruit. He was fighting Captain John with the magnet fruit. Then we had Wang Ji capturing Shaki. Like, all of them played a somewhat major role. Hell, even Silverax, he got his ass whooped by Marco's dad. Barbell had nothing. I'm telling you, dude. Barbell, jokes aside, I do think we'll do something. He has to. he's not dead yet, you know. King Harold might see this guy later. Who knows? Who knows? But then again, the Elbaf Giants, they were really shocked at Jimbei. So maybe Barbell doesn't come to Elbaf. Damn it. Imagine Emu riding on top of King Harold like the other celestial dragons do. That'd be wild. Yeah, Emu's like on his head, or Emu has King Harold bent over, just whipping him. Yeah. King Harold's about to be the greatest slave at Marie's Raw. Watch out, Kuma! Garling, my job is done here, fans. But you did nothing. Hey, he did nothing. Yeah, I'll admit. He kind of did nothing. Well, Dragon is still a teenager when he told Garp that. When Luffy was born, he had a few years to mature and see the world in different eyes than he saw in God Valley. He definitely still saw the evil, but I'm sure he also saw that it's not as black and white when it comes to the Marines. There's a lot of good Marines who want to do good, and that a lot of pirates are really just evil. As well, I'm sure he probably saw that not all who claim to be freedom fighters were fighting oppression, but actually wanted to be that oppression. Yeah, that is true. And yeah, I love that from Dragon. Hopefully, we get a Dragon Garp collab in the future, because like you said, right, there are good Marines out there. I think Dragon will love Sword. Hell, I think Dragon will like at least 50% of the Marines, right? And maybe I'm crazy, but I do believe fully that one day, by the end of the series, the Revolutionaries and Marines will work together. I do not think that's super absurd. I think they could collaborate to help take down the world government. Because hell, even Sengoku mentioned that he wanted change within the Marines, and that nothing would happen unless he chased a promotion. So yeah, like even top brass like Sengoku know that things cannot remain the same down the road. Imagine if Harold had Geppo and ran on air to the stray giant to hit him. Even Oda was foreshadowing Barbell's epic off-screen battle with the Holy Knights and Bogard. And finally, for the future of the One Piece manga, no way. That person and that person are going to be fighting? That's the type of story you can expect. If I were to give it a title, I'd call it a free-for-all battle royale. Yeah, Oda did say that. He did say it. Sadly, the thing is with Harold is that he believes he could have saved Rox if he teamed up with them. Since he didn't to chase his own dream and Rox died, he views it as something he now has to do at any cost to live with the guilt of letting Rox die. In his mind, he mentally can't take having to choose his dream over working with Rox and having his dream fall while having lost Rox. He needs it to happen or he would have lost everything. That is true. And that's why I respect Harold out of this chapter too. Like, he has to double dog down. He cannot back down now, because that would be like spitting in his choice of not helping Rox, and he doesn't want to do that. The reason God Valley sinks is because Barbell, the father of the sea, uses his overwhelming fisherman karate to sink the island, giving his captain a proper burial away from the government. I love how I said father of the sea once or twice, and now people are running with it. They're like, yeah, the father of the sea, that works actually. I mean, hey, if Jimbei is the son of the sea, there's gotta be a father. And Barbell, it kind of works. It kind of works. Very fitting that the last home of the Davy clan sinks to the bottom of the sea. With what Garling said, I don't think that was about the island itself literally disappearing, because they were supposed to be using the island for its resources before everything went down. I think he's just talking about the people of the island. As far as like the island disappearing, like he just meant the people instead. Okay. The greatest thing Oda did for Garling agenda is Roger and Garp already being rescued, because you know damn well if they were still there, Rayleigh and Gabon would have 110% no-dipped all three of their mid-asses. Dude! I do think that Maffy and Somers would get destroyed. Would Garling really lose? 1v1, Garling versus Rayleigh. He did get destroyed by Rox. He got destroyed by Rox. I guess it comes down to whether or not Rayleigh has Conqueror's Haki by that point. Because if I recall correctly, Rayleigh didn't use Conqueror's Haki against Somers. He simply knocked him through the wall. So there's a chance. That the Rayleigh we see during God Valley isn't in his prime yet. That right there sounds like the perfect Garling victim. Garling can only fight women, children, men who can't fight back, or people not in their primes. One of them gets no dip by 80-year-old Rusty Gabon who hasn't fought a person in 20 years, and then the Bum Knights get some kind of immortality. They probably got stronger. I can assure you, the Bum Knights wouldn't have touched Rayleigh or Gabon 38 years ago when they were in their prime. Edit. They killed Rox, and Rayleigh and Gabon saved Roger and Garp after that. The Holy Knights definitely just got off screen by them. This one I'm not too sure about. The way it made it sound is that maybe the God Knights just didn't want to fight them. Because if they did actually fight, I feel like Rayleigh and Gabon would have tried to save Rox. Because, you know, Garp and Roger, they're like, hey, what happened to Rox, man? And they're like, yeah, they killed him. So in my opinion, jokes aside, I don't think there was any confrontation at all. I think they all just kind of knew what they were after. God Knights didn't want the smoke, like you said. And then as far as Rayleigh and Scopper goes, I think they also didn't want the smoke either. They just wanted to get the hell out of there. And that could just be also because the island was crumbling. There was no time to actually fight at that point. Just got the Raws, and Roger's different. He's in bandages and looks a lot like Ace. Yeah, like father, like son. Like father, like son. Garling did the same shit Blackbeard did, but Garling, trying to fight him before, his HP was down and got his ass kicked. Blackbeard not even risked that in the fight with Whitebeard before he had a few holes in him. Yeah, Garling just pulled the Blackbeard tactic. Show up at the very end and claim all the glory. I'm curious if the bit about Loki wanting to join the Rocks Pirates is going to be the scene we already saw, but maybe without the silhouette and a bit more drawn out. Turns out, different scene. Loki, kind of like Luffy and Shanks, Loki constantly was asking Rocks to join the crew. And I believe this time it was like off the coast outside of the bar, which is pretty cool. Speaking of like the whole conversation here, Rocks told Loki about the Galley Raw. That was not in the full spoilers, but Loki knows about them. I would love it if after Elbaf, if Loki just doesn't join the Straw Hats or, follow us to Marie's Raw or something. I think it would be cool if Loki went out looking for a Galley Raw. Hell, maybe that's what Loki was doing after his dad died. His dad died, he had to flee the country. Maybe he was on the lookout for a Galley Raw that entire time. Emu used Harold's horns to turn him into a demon. Oh, okay. Yeah, this goes back to the whole theory that Emu has to damage you or have something of yours to reverse you. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. He takes the horns and that is what he uses. Hell, maybe Emu even still has the horns in his room. Kind of like how he has that giant straw hat in the freezer. What if we go next door and boom, there's King Harold's horns. Emu is out here collecting trophies. This one says, it honestly impressed me that Garp had no problem letting Dragon go out of the Navy because he was so adamant in having Ace and Luffy there. I don't know, it seems to me that this was strange coming from Grandpa Garp that threw Luffy in the jungle just so he could become a Marine. Maybe something happened that made him trust the Corp again. My guess is Kuzan, because he starts training with Garp around 8 years from now. Oh, that's a good observation. Yeah, maybe Garp is like raising the next crop, and he's like, damn, when I'm gone, this Kuzan fella, man, he can take care of my son. Or my grandson, should I say. No, I like that. I like that. I didn't think about that yet. This says, honestly, the reason that God Valley sank into the sea is because of the stability of the island was compromised because of all the powerful attacks that were used, causing a unnatural sinking of the whole island. I like this. Yeah, in my opinion, it could just be this right here. I think this is the most logical outcome. But my spin is that if Oda really wanted to like bring in another ancient weapon or another power in general, he could do that. I mean, it's the world of One Piece. And that's the tough part, right? When it comes to One Piece, it could be something as easy as this, right? Okay, everybody's fighting, mountains are breaking, hockey everywhere, sky splitting. Yeah, the island's gonna collapse. It can't handle that pressure. But then again, because it's One Piece, we could also get really freaking crazy and say that, oh, Emu had a special attack that did it. Or, oh, maybe the God Knights that are missing, the 7 of them that are just gone, they were the ones doing it. They were breaking the plates. I don't know. Last comment, and I love the profile picture. This is such a great one to end off on. It's me in the Syvduck hoodie. Commiserations, my glorious king. The Barbell agenda has suffered a seismic loss this chapter. We shall regroup and take over very soon. One day, brother. Just wait for the promised time. It's kind of like Odin in the prophecy, right? 20 years from now, Joy Boy's gonna come. Somebody's gonna open the borders. That's me and Barbell. That's me and Barbell. But with that being said, though, guys, let me know what you thought about this chapter down below. What are your thoughts coming off of the spoilers, coming off of the translated chapter? I would love to hear all of that down below. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow or the next day when we come back for the prediction video. So because we're doing predictions, make sure to drop your predictions underneath the pinned comment. One line, please. And I'll pick out 3 of them to put on the bingo sheet. But yes, until then, you guys take care. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, and I'll catch y'all later, brothers.